anything. I'm upset, really, like deep down in my heart. Oh.
You should be proud of yourself, man.
Oh.
You got respect.
Who's got a question for me while we're waiting?
Radio right here. Hey, this is a journey that you've been on as well, the whole way. Obviously 2 losses in a row, your flagship fighter. What is next for you in your mind as a promoter? And what do you say to Anthony Joshua immediately after the fight?
Well, as I said in the ring after, the key to life is happiness, you know? And at the end of the day, I just want him to be happy. He's given his whole life since he started to the sport of boxing, and people don't realise that what a bubble it is in the life and world of Anthony Joshua. You know, when everybody in the country knows who he is, everybody's got an opinion of who he is. He's in the gym all the time with his team. He's living up in Loughborough. He's away from home. You know, there isn't anyone I know that's more dedicated to the sport than him. And sometimes people don't understand the pressures that are on people's shoulders. But he's never ducked a challenge, he's never shirked the pressure. He's always tried to give his time for people, and he's always tried to inspire the next generation. He's been an amazing ambassador. For the first time in boxing, you see all these complete dickheads, many of them tonight on social media, they've got too much to say for themselves, that want to pretend they're good people, that actually aren't role models, that aren't ambassadors, that aren't people that I would want my kids to look up to. This is someone that I want my kids to look up to. For the first time, and that responsibility is a huge burden, and he's always felt that responsibility. If he's out in public, he gives everybody his time, right? He's one of the nicest guys you can ever meet, and he's a competitor, he's a winner. And when you don't win, and you see, what you saw tonight was a raw emotion, a real person that was feeling the pressure, that wanted to win so badly. And people need to realise that you live in an online world where it's just opinions, stick, abuse, and he'll never tell you that the pressure, he sees that or he feels it. But it's impossible not to. So what I want to see is I want to see him happy, and I think what we want to see is we want to see him be active. Too many gaps between fights, too many stadium fights. You know, from the Dillian White fight at the O2, to Charles Martin at the O2, to Dominic Brazil at the O2, to Eric Molina at Manchester Arena, to Vladimir Klitschko at Wembley Stadium, to Carlos Takam at the Millennium Stadium, to Joseph Parker at the Millennium Stadium, to Alexander Povetkin at Wembley Stadium, to Andy Ruiz at Madison Square Garden, to Andy Ruiz in Riyadh, to Kubrat Pulev at the O2, to Alexander Usyk at Tottenham Hotspur, to Alexander Usyk. That is the run that Anthony Joshua has been on. No Tom Schwartz, no Sefer Sefer. No, I do, because you don't get the credit. No, but I'm going to give you the credit, because at the end of the day, you've had to step up to carry the sport. We joked before. You said, "God, I have to have all these tough fights." You saw people have these easy fights. You never had them. You never wanted them. Because you want to create a resume. Yeah, but because you were a fighter, you were a winner, you wanted to fight the elite. You fought the pound for pound, back to back, right? At Tottenham, you lost. Tonight, you lost a split decision to the best fighter in the sport. Everybody else would have vacated the WBO belt before the Tottenham fight. So I will say, because people take easy touches, fans moan about fighters ducking fights, taking easy touches. He's never taken an easy touch. And we should be very, very proud of him.
And Joshua, after the fight, it looked like you were leaving the ring. Like maybe you weren't going to do the interview, and then you turned around and came back in the ring and were a sportsman and gave a tremendous ambassador-esque speech. Can you talk to me about what happened in your mind that made you turn around and come back in the ring, and what you were trying to say post-fight in that speech?
I just feel like when you try and do things from your heart, not everyone's always going to understand, and it was just from the heart, right? I knew I was mad at myself, not anyone, just at myself. So I've got to get out of here because I'm mad. And like anyone, when you're angry, you might do stupid things. So I was mad. And then I realized, oh shit, it's a sport. Let me do the right thing and come back. And then I just spoke from my heart. Like, it's been so tough. Like, you see AJ holding it together, yeah? And I'm a hustler, so I try and put things together. I try to work hard, put things together, make sure my team's good. But it comes at a cost, like big cost, and like sometimes it'll never break me, but it takes real strength for it not to break you. And tonight, like, there's a little crack in the armor because I took a loss, and I think I just saw me just upset. And with the speech, I was just speaking about where I come from. I was on the roads, like, really, and I made a transition in boxing, and it really helped me change my life. You know, bring me closer to God, bring me closer to meeting so many amazing people, and I just kind of laid all of the line on my speech. But listen, let's not forget about the champ, Usyk, put on a phenomenal performance as well. Credit to him. I can't remember what I said in the ring, I was just so passionate. But I just want to say thank you to him for taking part in the great historical fight as well. It takes two to tango, and yeah, I'm just so upset.
Anthony, you said to over here, it's been a long journey with you and it's been an amazing journey. I'm over here, Anthony. You said to Antoine at the press conference on Wednesday that the performance was as important to you in a way as the outcome. Two things. Are you happy with the performance? And do you really, not necessarily the outcome, but are you happy with your performance this time? And do you not realise that at home, and this is all of us that have had messages from people at home, people were off their seats with respect, screaming you on to knock Alexander Usyk out from the 8th round onwards?
I'm not, look, when you lose, you're not ultimately happy. It's just upsetting. I really wanted to win, and I wanted to win for Great Britain because I know how much they wanted me to fight Tyson Fury. So I wasn't just fighting for myself, I was fighting for like the whole nation. So I was just so upset. So I'm not so happy with the performance because I didn't win. And I appreciate everyone who was watching at home, you know, fighting, yeah. Like, I'm a fighter, I'm not a normal person. Like, even though I try and, as you said, hold it together, to be a fighter is like a real different mindset and lifestyle you have to embody, especially to try and be a good fighter. So I just, I just warm up. I appreciate everyone that support and watched at home, and I really wanted to do it for them because I wanted to bring the belts back home, and I really wanted to challenge for the undisputed two of Britain's best. But we move on to the next.
Do you, last time when you lost to Alexander...
One question at a time, because I'm forgetting the second one. No, I mean, like, you're asking me two questions at once.
The respect thing.
So, for Alexander Usyk?
No, respect. Do you feel you owe it back to them? That everyone should be giving you?
No, well, from who? Who am I trying to earn respect from?
Your public.
It's not my business what they think. I can't. I don't really, do you know what people should respect me for? When I meet them and how I greet them, shake hands, yes please, no thank you. As I say, don't respect me just because of the fight and the belts. Because that isn't what makes a man or a woman. I think it's your character and how you treat people. So that's how I want to earn the respect. And I've always tried to kind of keep my feet on the ground. I make mistakes. So Sometimes I do things from the heart without thinking, but other than that, I hope people can respect me for the man I'm trying to become.
And the final thing, obviously you're incredibly disappointed in this moment, but how is that hunger still burning inside?
Fire for life. Hunger never dies. Fire for life.
Thank you, Anthony.
Respect.
We've got one more here from Antoine Allen.
This is a question to Eddie, because I know Anthony would be too humble to ask this. When you speak to other boxers, they speak about how Anthony literally existing in the sport has enabled them to buy houses, has enabled them to have the experience of being in a stadium like this and all around Britain. As someone who knows the business of Anthony Joshua's career, how has he impacted others in the sport and enabled them to have dream nights?
We, from so many different layers, from grassroots for young children getting into the sport because of Anthony Joshua, from the Great British boxing team, the Olympic setup, the funding that's gone into the next generations through his Olympic gold medal, from the commercial value that he's brought to the sport. We wouldn't be here today. None of us would be in this room without Anthony Joshua. I promise you, our business wouldn't be, my life wouldn't be what it was without Anthony Joshua. No boxers would be earning the kind of money in the UK if it wasn't for Anthony Joshua. He has taken the sport in terms of popularity, in terms of attraction from broadcasters, sponsors, to another level. And you're right, he's far too humble to say it. You've seen a lot of fighters and a lot of people from the industry come out with those kind of comments this week, which is nice to see. And he would never shout that from the rooftop, and if I said that to him, he'd laugh. But that is the complete reality. We weren't in stadiums, every other fight before Anthony Joshua come along. We weren't Brits going around the world, in Madison Square Garden, in Riyadh, in Jeddah. It's been unbelievable. But the legacy should last well beyond, and Gareth said the question, do you feel like the public respect you? If the public don't respect him for what he's done, you might as well just give up. You can't keep people happy all the time. If you can be a good individual like he is, if you can set a good example, then that's all you can do. And honestly, the sport globally wouldn't be where it was without Asians, but the sport in Britain would not be where it is today. And the fighters are benefiting because of the growth that AJ has injected into the sport.
And the question to you, AJ, to answer my question before, I'm sure everybody's proud of you, and there's lots of people at home who are proud of you as well. You spoke about being that boy from Watford who was on a completely different path, and you've inspired so many people. So if you were to give a word of advice to anyone who's looking to change their life right now, what would it be?
Change their life right now. It's a hard question to answer. Well, I'd say, I don't know. Anyone that wants to change their life, I don't know. Do what you want, innit? It's your choice. Live your life how you think is best, and you'll deal with the consequences of your decisions. But if you do manage to do well, always try and give back, because just don't take. Also give back when you can. I don't know what I tell someone. I'll probably tell them don't get into boxing. It's hard, very difficult, very, very difficult. But I don't know what I tell them. Just good luck with your life and just try and do well. And if you can do well, just make sure that you put your hand back to try and help bring people with you. Do you know what I mean? That's what I tell someone. If you bust out the hood, make sure you bring the man them and your family with you. You know what I'm saying? That's it, really.
Josh, you say about don't get into boxing, but we know the journey that you've been on. I know it firsthand. I've seen it from the beginning to now.
We're at the same amateur club.
Absolutely, the same amateur club.
Yeah.
We speak all the time. And listen, firstly, I want to salute you on an unbelievable performance. Your stock rose tonight, by the way, because you answered a lot of questions.
Right.
That's what you've done. So you was a victor tonight. You won tonight because there was a lot of people doubting. Was the hunger still there? Can Anthony Joshua get down in the trenches? Can he dig deep when he has to? You answered that tonight, mate. You went there and you done it, you delivered, you met him, your game plan was perfect. Up until round 9, round 10, the fight was even. Usyk showed that champion's heart and he come out and he nicked the last couple of rounds in a very close fight. But your stock rose because you answered all the questions that people were doubting you about. Forget all that and you did. And Gareth was right in what he said. You gained the respect of the people back. People at home were texting me saying, wow, he's shown the heart of a lion here, and that's what champions do. All I can say, Josh, is I can look forward to you getting back in the ring. You've still got a great career, a long career ahead of you, because there's still big fights out there for you, and you will become 3-time world heavyweight champion.
Thank you, Steve. Yeah, nice comment. Appreciate that.
Right, guys, just a couple more questions, please.
Anthony, Anthony, you've now spent 24 rounds with Alexander Usyk. Can you evaluate on what's that like, and do you feel elevated by that experience?
Well, great champion. He done well on the night, both nights. We met in the ring. And I'm happy. As a competitor, I'm upset. Very, very, very upset. But I've got to give the man his credit because he's done well. It takes a lot to come up in a way, challenge, win the belt, defend the belt. He's good. He's really, really good. He's been doing it since a young age, had hundreds of amateur fights. He's a real deal. So well done to him. I'm happy for him.
AJ, you should be proud of yourself. Be proud of yourself tonight. It was fantastic. Do you intend to go through it all again? Are you going to carry on fighting? If so, who would you like to fight next?
So I spoke to Eddie and I asked him if it's possible to get out in November, because I think momentum is important in boxing. Remember, I haven't had that feeling of going the rounds for how many?
I did say December.
Yeah, he said December. So the coach has given me 2 weeks off. But how long have I been at the ring?
It's the inactivity, you know, before this fight it was 11 months against
11
Alexander Usyk. Before that it was 10 months to Pulev. And before that it was a year to Andy Ruiz. Obviously the pandemic was, you know, but when you're having these massive fights to a year, you know, it's just, I don't think it's enough. It's not enough for AJ to be active. I would like to see him get out in December, and I would like to see him have 3 to 4 fights next year. Get back to enjoying himself, get back to the pressures of working his way back up to the championship belt, because for him it's the enjoyment of fighting, it's the enjoyment of working with his team. And now I think he's going to actually really start to enjoy himself.
And it's about who I fight. Come one, come all. Whoever wants to be there, I don't mind.
Right, any more questions?
Right guys, I just want to take this opportunity once again to thank this man to my left. Incredible performance, a great man.
My dad in the street against a heavyweight. I've gone back to the dad, I've punched him a few more times. 5 blokes outside my front door, can you come and help me?
One hell of a fucking story, so stay tuned.
Welcome, Team Everlast, to the Team Everlast Fitness app. Download the Everlast Fitness app and find your greatness within.